Okay, let's start. 1. Göbekli Tepe builders. In 1994, workers in southeastern Turkey stumbled upon something buried beneath a hill. What they found rewrote the entire story of human civilization. Göbekli Tepe, a massive temple complex built around 12,000 years ago. That's roughly 6,000 years before Stonehenge. 7,000 years before the Egyptian pyramids. Here's the mind-bending part. According to everything we thought we knew, humans at this time were nomadic hunter-gatherers. They didn't build permanent settlements. They didn't have agriculture. They didn't have organized religion. And yet, here stands a site with massive T-shaped stone pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons, decorated with intricate carvings of animals. Foxes, scorpions, lions, vultures, all arranged in perfect circles. Who built it? How? And why? When they were done using the site, the builders deliberately buried it. On purpose, under tons of earth, as if they wanted it hidden, as if they were protecting a secret. Scholars believe climate change in the region forced these builders to abandon their way of life. The fertile land dried up, their world collapsed, and so they buried their most sacred place and walked away forever. 2. The Sumerians. The Sumerians of ancient Mesopotamia are, by most accounts, the world's first true civilization. They invented writing. They invented the wheel. They built the first cities. They created the first legal code. But here's what makes them truly mysterious. Their own records, the oldest written texts on Earth, describe the arrival of beings called the Anunnaki. In Sumerian mythology, these were godlike figures who came from the sky, taught humans agriculture, and helped build their civilization almost overnight. Now, mainstream historians call these myths religious stories, but scholars have noted something strange. The speed at which Sumerian civilization advanced is almost unnaturally fast. In just a few centuries, they went from scattered villages to sophisticated cities with astronomy, mathematics, irrigation systems, and complex governance. The Sumerians mapped the solar system with remarkable accuracy, including planets they had no telescopes to see. Around 2000 BCE, the Akkadian Empire invaded. Then drought. Then invasion after invasion. The great Sumerian cities fell one by one, swallowed by desert sands. But the knowledge they created, that never truly died. It echoed into every civilization that followed. 3. Indus Valley Civilization. The Indus Valley Civilization, also called the Harappan Civilization, was one of the largest in the ancient world. At its peak, it spread across an area larger than ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia combined. Their cities were remarkable. Mohenjo-daro and Harappa had straight grid-plan streets, two-story homes, covered drainage systems, and public baths. Infrastructure that most of Europe wouldn't match for another 3,000 years. And yet, here's the deep mystery. We have never decoded their writing system. After decades of trying, the Indus script remains one of the last great undeciphered languages in human history. We don't know what they called themselves. We don't know their kings' names. We don't know their religion. Despite their enormous size and wealth, archaeologists have found almost no evidence of warfare. No weapons, no defensive walls, no battle scenes. A peaceful superpower in the ancient world. Most likely a combination of climate shifts, the drying of the Gagar-Hakra River, and perhaps incoming migrations. But the exact truth? Still buried in the dust. For ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt lasted for over 3,000 years. 3,000 years. That's longer than the entire span between ancient Rome and today. They built structures so precise, so massive, and so perfectly aligned with celestial bodies that even modern engineers scratch their heads. The Great Pyramid of Giza is aligned with true north to within 3/60 ths of a degree. It was the tallest man-made structure on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. We still don't fully understand how the pyramids were built. We have theories, ramps, sledges, tens of thousands of workers, but no definitive proof. And despite all our excavations, we have never found a single body inside the Great Pyramid. The Sphinx is believed by some geologists to show signs of water erosion from rain. But the last time that region received enough rainfall to cause that level of erosion was over 10,000 years ago. possibly far older than we think. Egypt was conquered repeatedly, Persians, Greeks, Romans. Eventually, the old ways dissolved. The temples went silent. The hieroglyphs were forgotten for 1,400 years, until the Rosetta Stone unlocked their secrets in 1822. 5. The Minoan civilization. The Minoans were Europe's first advanced civilization. They built multi-story palaces with indoor plumbing, elaborate frescoes, and complex trade networks stretching from Egypt to the Middle East. They were wealthy, sophisticated, and powerful. And then, they weren't. Around 1450 BCE, the Minoan civilization collapsed with breathtaking speed. Almost every city on Crete was destroyed simultaneously. The palaces burned. The population vanished or fled. Most historians point to the catastrophic eruption of the Thera volcano on the nearby island of Santorini, one of the most powerful volcanic eruptions in recorded history. The explosion sent tsunamis crashing into Crete's coastline and a massive ash cloud blocking out the sun. The Minoans had their own writing system called Linear A, and to this day it has never been deciphered. We cannot read their records. We cannot hear their voices. We cannot know their full story. Some scholars believe the sudden collapse of the Minoan civilization is the real historical event that inspired Plato's legend of Atlantis, a great island civilization swallowed by the sea. The myth and the mystery might be one and the same. 6. The Olmec civilization. The Olmecs were the mother civilization of Mesoamerica. Before the Maya, before the Aztecs, there were the Olmecs. They invented concepts that would shape the entire region, a calendar system, early writing, and possibly the concept of zero. But what makes them truly controversial? Their most famous legacy, the colossal stone heads. 17 giant heads have been found so far, each one weighing up to 40 tons. Each carved from solid volcanic basalt, quarried from mountains 50 miles away, transported without wheels or metal tools, across rivers and swamps. And those faces, broad, flat-nosed, full-lipped, with what many describe as distinctly non-Mesoamerican features. An observation that has sparked fierce debate for generations. The Olmec writing system also remains undeciphered. Like the Indus script, like Linear A, the Olmecs left messages we cannot yet read. Around 400 BCE, their heartland cities were abandoned. The most likely cause: volcanic activity in the region made the land uninhabitable. Their identity faded, but their legacy, buried in the foundations of every Mesoamerican civilization that followed, never truly disappeared. 7. Norte Chico civilization. The Norte Chico civilization of coastal Peru is the oldest known civilization in the Americas. It flourished around the same time as ancient Egypt and the Indus Valley, and yet, until the 1990s, it was barely known to the outside world. At its height, Norte Chico had 30 major urban centers. It had massive platform mounds, ancient monuments built with millions of tons of stone. Its people organized large-scale construction projects and coordinated complex trade networks. And here's the mystery. They did all of this without a written language. No pottery either, which is almost unheard of for a civilization at this level of development. So how did they communicate? How did they organize labor? How did they plan their cities? Instead of writing, the Norte Chico people may have used quipus, knotted strings that encoded information. A system so sophisticated that scholars believe it may have functioned as a full recording language. But we still don't fully understand it. Around 1800 BCE, severe El Niño events likely devastated their coastal fishing economy and agricultural systems simultaneously. Their carefully balanced world was disrupted by forces beyond their control. A civilization that quietly rose, quietly ruled, and quietly vanished. 8. The Maya civilization. At their peak, the Maya built towering stepped pyramids, developed one of the most accurate calendars ever created, and tracked astronomical cycles with precision that rivals modern observatories. Their calendar predicted solar eclipses. It tracked the movements of Venus to within a few minutes of accuracy. And it measured a year at 365.2420 days. Modern science puts it at 365.2422. They had a fully developed writing system, one of the few in the ancient world that recorded complete language, not just lists. And unlike the Indus script or Linear A, we've cracked theirs. What we found was extraordinary. Royal histories, creation myths, astronomical records, and political drama that reads like a medieval epic. Around 900 CE, the great Maya cities of the southern lowlands were suddenly and dramatically abandoned. The population collapsed. The plazas went silent. Jungle swallowed the pyramids whole. A civilization that touched the stars and then fell silent. Likely a perfect storm, catastrophic drought, ecological collapse from overfarming, brutal warfare between rival city-states, and political breakdown. But the Maya didn't disappear. Millions of their descendants still live in Mexico and Central America today. 9. Easter Island, Rapa Nui. Imagine the most isolated inhabited island on Earth. Now imagine on that island, someone decided to carve nearly 1,000 giant stone statues, some over 30 feet tall, weighing up to 80 tons, and somehow move them miles across the island without wheels, cranes, or metal tools. Welcome to Easter Island. The Rapa Nui people built the famous moai between roughly 1100 and 1500 CE. Carved from volcanic rock, these statues were monuments to their ancestors, meant to watch over and protect their communities. Experiments have shown that the statues could have been walked upright using ropes and coordinated rocking. And oral traditions of the Rapa Nui people actually describe the statues walking to their platforms, a memory of the method passed down through generations. The island also has its own undeciphered writing system called rongorongo, intricate carved tablets whose meaning no one has cracked. An entire written language lost to history. The islanders cut down virtually every tree on the island to support statue construction and agriculture. Without trees, the ecosystem failed. Crops died. Fishing became impossible without canoes. By the time Europeans arrived in 1722, they found a fraction of the original population, the statues toppled, and a civilization in its final hours. A warning carved in stone, for those who know how to read it. 10. Atlantis, myth or memory. The story first appears in the writings of the ancient Greek philosopher Plato, around 360 BCE. He describes a powerful island civilization in the Atlantic Ocean, advanced, wealthy, and militarily dominant, that sank beneath the waves in a single catastrophic day and night. Plato was clear. He was recounting a true historical event, passed down through Egyptian priests thousands of years old. Mainstream scholars largely consider Atlantis a philosophical allegory, a story Plato invented to make a moral point. And that may well be the case. But here's what's interesting. The details Plato provides are surprisingly specific. The layout of the city, the rings of water and land, the metals they mined, the directions of their military campaigns. These aren't the vague details of pure fiction. They read like fragments of a memory. Some credible researchers have pointed to the Minoan collapse, the flooding of the Black Sea around 5600 BCE, and even underwater structures off Cuba and Japan as potential real-world origins for the Atlantis legend. We may never know if Atlantis was real, but the legend persists because it taps into a deep human fear that no matter how advanced, how powerful, how brilliant a civilization becomes, it can all end in a single night. Every civilization in today's list understood that truth. Not one of them survived forever. 10 civilizations, 10 mysteries, and thousands of unanswered questions still buried beneath our feet. We live in a world built on the ruins of worlds we've almost completely forgotten. The people who raised those stone pillars at Göbekli Tepe, who planned those perfect streets in Mohenjo-Daro, who tracked the stars from Maya temples, they were just as human as us. They loved, feared, dreamed, and struggled. And then they were gone. History is not just the past. It's a mirror. And if you look closely enough, you can see us in it. So I want to know which civilization shocked you the most. Drop it in the comments right now. I read every single one. If this video made you think, hit that like button. Takes 2 seconds and it helps this channel more than you know. And if you want more journeys into the deep past, into the mysteries that textbooks skip over, subscribe and hit the bell. New videos drop every week. Because the past is never truly gone. Just waiting to be found. I'll see you in the next one.